Okay, let's take a look at our example 2. Example 2 is a very interesting problem, and I want to use it to explain how smart you can solve some of these problems if you understand the way the problem is designed. So the first one is we're gonna just, for the first solution, we're just gonna take a simple plug-in because they've given us the values of x here that will satisfy this. One of these A, B, C, or D will just be the x values you want. So let's start with the first one. So for instance, suppose I come back and I say, well, let's look at A. When x is equal to 3, then we have 2, 3 plus 1 squared minus 5 is equal to, if it is equal to 27, that means x is equal to 3 is fine. So this is the same thing as what? 2 times 4 squared, which is 16, minus 5, which is equal to 32 minus 5 is 27. So x is equal to 3. It's fine. Since x is equal to 3 is fine, that means this here possibly is not fine. This is also not good because x cannot be negative 3. That is what we are saying here. That means now we have to worry about whether x is equal to negative 5 or x is equal to positive 5 here. So we are looking at A or C. So let's play with x equal to 5. So when x equal to 5, then we get 2 times 5 plus 4. This is 4 to the power 2 minus 5. I'm sorry, this is 6 because it's 5 plus 1, 6 minus that. So this becomes 37 to 2 minus 5. No way, that is not equal to 27. So obviously this is wrong. As soon as you arrive at this conclusion, obviously then your answer becomes this one here. That means your answer is C, x equal to 3 or x equal to negative 5. And when you plug x equal to negative 5, you see that I have 2 times minus 5 plus 1 or squared minus 5 is equal to 2 times 16 because 4 squared minus 5, which is equal to 32 minus 5 is equal to 27. So that works fine. Okay, so you can solve it that way. Now let's look at the second solution. The second solution will be to actually go ahead and distribute this and solve it the way we did the first one. So if I distribute, then this becomes 2 times x squared. This will be x squared plus 2x plus 1 minus 5 minus 27 is equal to 0. I brought my 27 to the left also. So this is the same thing as 2x squared plus 4x plus 2 minus 5 minus 27 is equal to 0. And so let's simplify it. This is 2x squared plus, let's see, plus 4x minus 3 minus 30, right? Minus 30 is equal to 0. Do you see that? Now here I can divide. Whenever you have any number that sums to be equal to 0 and you have a factor, that factor can be taken out. So I can divide both sides by all through by 2, and that gives me x squared plus 2x minus 15 is equal to 0, right? So with that, I have, now going back to how we saw the first one, when I take the coefficient of x squared and the 15, that gives me negative 15. So what two factors will I multiply to give me negative 15? And when I add, it will give me plus 2. And that would be, so if I take 3 and 5, so if I take 5 and 3, I want to get a positive 2, so obviously I have to do this. So that means my factors will be x plus 5, x minus 3 is equal to 0, and therefore x is equal to negative 5 or x equal to positive 3. So you can do it from that angle. But I want to show you another cool way of doing this. Another cool way of doing this is this. Let's come back and take a look at the original equation. The original equation can be written as 2x plus 1 squared minus 32 is equal to 0. Do you see that? I brought a 27 to the left, so it becomes minus 5 minus 27, which is minus 32. Now I can divide both sides by 2, and that gives me x plus 1 all squared minus 16 is equal to 0. And now something is beginning to show up that this is looking at difference of squares. So I can say that this x plus 1 all squared, this 16 is the same as 4 squared, and that's equal to 0. Now, if I have two numbers that are subtracting from each other and they are all squares, mathematically we can write them as, for instance, if I have, let's come back here, if I have, let me change the color here, maybe I can take another color here and do this. If I have x squared minus y squared. I can write it as x plus y. You guys remember this? X minus y, right? Yeah, so let's come back here and continue with our calculation here. Then we can say that this is therefore equal to x plus 1 minus 4, x plus 1 plus 4. And that is equal to 0. And therefore x minus 3, x plus 5 is equal to 0. And so x is equal to 3 or x is equal to minus 5. So either way you do it, you get the answer. But for the SAT, my best bet would be to take the first one, which is I plug in the numbers, and that will give you the answer that you want. All right? So that makes sense when it comes to taking SP tests like the SAT.